pregnancies in the 12 months after the ruling that overturned Roe versus Wade. I'm Haya Panjwani.
A southwest heat wave is setting records.
A desert community on the Arizona-California border reached 110 degrees Thursday, breaking a record for the highest March temperature recorded in the United States. The record-setting temperature was recorded just outside Martinez Lake, Arizona in the Yuma Desert, as a winter heat wave scorches the southwest. It breaks the record of 108 degrees set in Rio Grande, Texas in 1954. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Iran has threatened recreational and tourist sites worldwide and insisted it is still building missiles. Its supreme leader issued another defiant statement on Friday. The United States was meanwhile deploying more warships and another 2,500 Marines 3 weeks into the war it launched alongside Israel. On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average down by 443 points. The Nasdaq also down 443. The S&P 500 declined 100. Oil at right around $99 a barrel. More on these stories at townhall.com.
If you're nearing retirement, stop what you're doing and listen, because what's unfolding right now could hit your 401k or IRA harder than anything we've seen in years. Military escalation across the Middle East, a tariff war spilling into the courts, the U.S. dollar facing pressure that historically signals one thing: a flight to safety. Smart money has been moving into gold and silver, and it's not slowing down. Call Advantage Gold right now at 800-900-8000 and get your free gold investment kit, plus a free copy of economist Ken Rogoff's eye-opening book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. Thousands of Americans have already rolled over a portion of their retirement savings into physical gold and silver, completely tax and penalty-free through Advantage Gold. The next news cycle won't wait for you. Get into position now. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Results vary. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
NASA is laying the groundwork for its next lunar mission.
If all goes well, the 322-foot rocket will blast off early next month with 4 astronauts on board, the first to fly to the moon in more than 50 years. They'll zip around the moon in their capsule and then come straight home without stopping. Their Artemis 2 mission should have been completed by now, but hydrogen fuel leaks and clogged helium lines forced 2 months of delays while repairs were made. Rich Thomason reporting.
Georgia has become the first state in the U.S. to suspend fuel taxes after the war in the Middle East sent pump prices soaring. Republican Governor Brian Kemp on Friday signed into law a 60-day suspension of the state's 33 cents per gallon tax on gas and 37 cents per gallon tax on diesel. News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
This is Paul Betancourt. Property values may have peaked. Protest your property values now.
Sign up with Betancourt Tax Advisors by going online to btanow.com or by calling Paul's professional property team at 713-263-6100.
Checo Pro Joe here. My guest this week will be Cody Johnson from Garage Door Doctor. For all of your garage door needs, contact Garage Door Doctor at 281-343-3632.
Join Joe every Saturday at 1 o'clock here on AM 700 KSEV and AM 1540 KGBC, the voice of Texas.
Hey, it's Joe Pags. Are you ready for the latest news of the day? We're talking about local, state, international. We're going to be all over it. Plus, we're going to give you the proper spin, which means we're going to tell you the truth. You don't get that from a lot of outlets, but on the Joe Pags Show, we promise to always bring the truth before we give you any commentary. Plus, we open the phone lines to hear from you as well. Doesn't matter what the topic is. We're going to be all over it. Plus, we're going to make you think, going to make you angry, going to make you smile, might make you laugh, might even get you to sing along. Don't miss even 1 second of the Joe Pags Show right here on KSEV and KGBC. Still the voice of Texas.
One for each other and all for one. The 3 brave amigos are we.
Andale, amigos.
Brother to brother and everyone. A brave amigo. And amigos forever will be.
That's right, it's Amigos Forever here on the first Friday spring of 2026. We've got a great show for you, so thanks for tuning in. You got the tax man El Senador Paul Betancourt at the helm, the soul man of the upcoming Strew Review, Ben Struzan, and the effervescent, ever-ready Judge Eric Andel. I see we got producer El Supremo Gary in the booth. Give him a call at 281-558-5738. Lots to talk about. I just landed back from D.C., okay?
Really?
Where we were at a White House policy conference.
Cool.
We're going to have Lois Colcourse on the line here next
Was
break.
she there with you all?
She was there with me. It was as with probably a majority of the Texas Republican delegation.
Was it a big convention, like a convention thing?
No, it was a policy conference where we had, let's say, 3 cabinet secretaries and 3 other officials come in and talk about it. But we'll visit with that. But it's County Judge Day because, Ben, it's not just Harris County. Did you all see the news? KP George got the big
guilty verdict.
The guilty verdict.
What was that for money laundering?
Yeah.
That was
actually 2 of them.
That was for essentially running a scam where he tried to blame right-wing people for racist comments when he was creating them or something like that.
No. This was borrowing money, not borrowing. His theory, borrowing money from his campaign to
pay personal expenses.
The theory of the state was that he was defrauding his contributors by saying, I'm running for real or whatever.
Right.
And Andy Taylor was for the defense. I read his, he was on
Wait a minute, I thought, I guess Jared Woodfield must be on the other case.
Jared
Woodfield's on this one, but he called Taylor as their expert. And Taylor said, Lee, you read from the paper, that he did not find it to be fraud. People do quote these things, and he went through a litany. Sounded pretty good in defense. Of course, it's naked. It's no cross examination or anything.
Well, let's.
But obviously, the jury didn't agree, and they said that the theory is it's going to go up on appeal that he intentionally, remember, crime takes intent, intentionally told Ben Struzan to give me $50.
Yep.
What for, you say? Well, it's going to my campaign for postcards and everything else, and block walking and et cetera.
And instead he bought Girl Scout cookies.
Yes, correct. Instead he paid off part of his mortgage. He did this and he did that.
Yeah,
right?
now it's not just Girl Scout cookies. Now, let's give a byline to Claire Goodman from the Chronicle, and here's her first paragraph. Fort Bend County Judge K.P. George was convicted Friday of felony money laundering after jurors found he funneled campaign funds into his personal accounts and used the money to cover his personal expenses. The verdict came after several hours of deliberations that began on 2 p.m. on Thursday. At trial, prosecutors laid out a series of transactions that showed George shifting money out of his campaign accounts, routing it through personal bank accounts, and spending it on a down payment on a house and other expenses.
So do you think that he believed that making a public pronouncement that he was going to defect Democrat Party and become a Republican, do you think he thought that would help him win a jury verdict? You think that's why he did it?
I don't know.
You mean to switch parties?
Yeah, switch parties in order to get a better jury verdict.
This is one case that the DA Middleton, and I think maybe her name is Kelly Peterson from the office that prosecuted this. This is one case that's separate from the other case, and his chief of staff actually came in and testified against him in this case.
Yeah.
The chief of staff was the one that came up with the whole racial gig that the Nels brothers, now Congressman Squared probably, said was the reason why Nels lost, and now Trevor's in the Trevor lost his race.
The brother lost.
Trevor lost his race against KP 4 years ago.
But do you think his conversion from Democrat to Republican was he thought the motivation was to help us
get some traction,
better verdict?
Well, because Middleton was coming after him in the Democrat primary. Now he ran as a Republican and he paced, I think, 5th.
George
8%
with 8%.
Yeah,
I could have gotten 8%.
Right now, the question now
you would have gotten a lot more.
The judge I suspect
in
you would.
Fort Bend,
well, it's 25% more.
Yeah, right. The judge can either keep him in the job or take him out now.
He needs to resign.
Pending appeals.
Yeah. Right now,
well, it's not a final judgment yet, so he's still in.
Well, yeah. I mean, but so Eric,
He should step down is what he should.
Yes,
do.
that's right, because he should resign too. And like what
I
did.
Speaking
of
resigning, feed you. That's like feed me, Seymour.
Yeah, feed me
you want
more.
me to hand you?
Yeah,
Is there a better
softball.
lead in? Can I give you a better lead in than that?
Did anybody else resign this week, Paul?
Well, no. And to give a byline to John, Lomax V, Hidalgo Rodeo Flat discussed a discussion postponed. As you know, last week I called for Lena to resign. Commissioner Ramsey
Called in here.
And I'm up to 1.18 million views of my Facebook post. Tom actually put a resolution in the Commissioner's Court, and on technicalities, he could not get a second. And it has been moved to March the 31st to discuss whether or not Lena should resign. And so humorously, this is all going to stay in the news, another, 2 weeks. But let me read this. The incident, dubbed Rodeo Gate by Senator Paul Bettencourt, R. Houston, who has also called for
That's an original term, isn't it?
In Rodeo Gate. Not bad. I thought not bad for Uncle Paul to think that up. Sparked an expended dispute between Hidalgo and rodeo leadership, who said they were very disappointed in the county judge's behavior in a statement issued last week.
Senator, I'm not much of a politician, but if I were starting a career or in the middle of a career, I would not take on the Houston Rodeo as kind of I'm giving that to anybody out there that's getting ready to run for office.
I think she's at the end of her career.
She's at the end. Yeah.
She said, "Oh no, what? Now hold on. We have to do some puns. I think she's at the end of her rope."
I knew you were going there.
Okay,
I was hoping you would.
You mean this is her last rodeo?
Hold on. I was waiting for somebody to do that.
I was trying to corral you
That was
before
too
you did
easy.
that.
Trying to corral you.
Yeah,
that was too easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, come on. Craig, Gary, you all went in on this?
No, they want to leave. They want to go. They want us to go on the best of and for us to leave.
Yeah, right. Well, anyway, so
I tell you who ought to jump on the resign Hidalgo bandwagon is Anise Parker if she knew what was good for her. She ought to jump on that one.
Well, that's probably.
Yeah. And hopefully Orlando will take my advice and try to pressure her into making a commitment.
Well, you
way or
remember?
the
I
other.
don't know.
No, you had left. Orlando called and said he also agreed that she should resign.
Well, press the case, buddy.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Eric doesn't think the Democrats can cross the line and
that's the point.
Say that she should.
That's
resign.
the point.
Well,
Come on, defend her.
Look, KP
Anise
George
can defend her.
Okay, KP George clearly
No,
should.
she
at
won't
this point.
defend her. She'll just say does not rise to the level of she's got 3 or 4, 8 months left, and she won't get involved. There's a lot of politics with Rod. There's just a lot of going on that we don't know.
Now, by the way, Nancy Sims, our old friend, we've known her for 30 years.
Oh, we have indeed.
She's running interference, saying, from her position and as a professor, this shouldn't happen. It's causing too much upset. Nobody should make her resign. I think I'm going to invite Nancy on next week, see if she'll come on.
She's a wonderful person.
Can we get Hidalgo on, Eric? You know her.
Yeah, Eric.
I called her to take her out to dinner. Crickets. She's not answering.
You got a couple more
Crickets?
days. The rodeo's still open. She could go with her date.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Why don't you get her?
As long as
why don't you offer to take her to the rodeo?
Maybe I can borrow her badge. Oh, that's right. She doesn't have one.
What? Borrow what?
The badge. Oh,
the
maybe
badge,
she didn't.
She lost the badge.
Well, I think even Rodney's keeping his powder dry. I don't know because I don't know the civics of it. Who becomes the next county judge? It's a vote.
That's a vote.
A point.
Of the
and
4.
Rodney is sitting there looking at 3 votes.
So we got County Judge Day starting off. We've got KP George with a conviction by a jury in Fort Bend County. It's probable these are felony charges of over $46,000. Now he can appeal.
He will,
and the judge can, however, say, "Great, we'll take your appeal," but she can, I think, order a resignation or take him out of office because it's a felony charge. And he should resign at this point, or make it.
Well, he's got more things to worry about than his being county judge right now. Seriously, I mean, he's facing 2 to 10. He probably get probation.
Now
but
explain,
good Lord.
but 2 to 10 is serious.
Are you guessing?
I mean,
no.
It's 2 to 10.
No, it's 2 to
10.
2 to 10.
Okay.
So that's the range of punishment for this felony, and He probably was offered somewhere along the line
No,
a misdemeanor.
I'm sure there was a misdeal.
A misdemeanor deal, and resign.
And he didn't. And so now, the defense was not sufficient. Again, D.A. Middleton had been hanging in there on both this prosecution and then the other one on the creation of a complete fraud, racial, attack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, I'm interested in that trial. I want to see. I want to see the whole conspiracy of Democrats convicted of planning false racial bombs to attack Republicans.
That's
a
different suit, though, right? That's a different thing, right? That's not this one.
That's the chief of staff, right?
All right. So let me let's now. As I said, we were in D.C. This week, and at Team Betancourt, you can see a picture of us going in for the.
Where did you meet? How many people were there? How many states were represented?
Well, we are one of, I think, 20 states that are cycling through. And we probably had
it's a rotating thing.
Yeah, it's a rotating thing, about 80. I think we're certainly the first big state that made it. I was actually surprised that we got there because of the Iranian war, we got Lois Kolkers on. But let's get her on before the break because I want to let her talk about if she wants to say anything about the county judges.
Is Fort Bend part of her?
I think it used to be.
It is.
Is it?
It
still is. You there, Lois?
Lois.
Hey, three amigos. How we doing?
Our favorite Senate amiga. Come on, Lois Kolkers.
I was listening to Judgegate. I think that we've got going on.
Oh, Judgegate! Wow.
Judgegate in Fort Bend and Harris counties, and low point for our elected officials. And let me say, the jury's come back and convicted. The Fort Bend County judge who was a Democrat, elected as a Democrat, he switched parties midstream after he had these allegations.
We told you you could have them. I said you could have them.
No, I'm really
rejected
disappointed,
that.
And I want the voters to realize, that this is a serious low mark for the Democrat Party, and we just have to reject this and put people in office that are not going to money launder and not be entitled to go in places where they think they're entitled to do. So I support, of course, my good friend and colleague, Senator Betancourt, on calling for Lena Hidalgo to resign. And, of course, KP George should also leave office at this point. And
right, Lois, because, look, you represent
we have elections coming up.
Yeah.
We have elections coming up, and we're going to pick our nominee in the Republican primary very soon in Harris County, and we have one in Fort Bend County. And I want everyone we're going to turn the page in this book, and we're going to look to a brighter tomorrow because we should hold our elected officials to higher standards than what we're seeing.
Now, look, the history of KP George is actually very intertwined with Lena Hidalgo. They got elected the same wave election. Many times, whatever happened in Harris County, KP would pick up there.
During COVID, we had a rule that it was, it was 24 hours later, 24 to 36 hours later, whatever Lena did, then KP did. So
now,
yes,
right. Then after all this initial charge came out,
closed the rodeo, as I remember.
Right, and KP then did switch parties, and Eric did say you can have them, okay? And now, effectively, he placed fifth out of all the people running in the Republican primary. So, and the bottom line is,
we're moving forward, and we have brighter days.
And we have, and who is the candidate? It's Wong. What? No, sorry, I know it's an Asian.
Daniel Wong.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He's the Republican.
And great. He's an entrepreneur. He came to this country with nothing. He built himself as a self-made success, and he's the kind of person that, can go into the office and do really well as a business person. And that's my segue into being in the White House.
Right. Hold on now, Lois. We are going to take a break and bring you back because that's a segue. Because
that is a segue about putting good business people and business-minded people to run our taxpayer dollars like we would run our own businesses and our own households.
And that's what we're going to talk about next. Get your calls in, folks, 281-558-5738. The county judges in Fort Bend and Harris County have just gone 0 for 2. One of them actually on a conviction. That's KP George down in Fort Bend County. Gives a call about that. Senator Colcorst and I did spend most of Thursday in with the White House. You can call us on that. So let's take a break and give a call at 281-558-5738, 281-558-KSEV or pound KSEV for those Verizon callers. It's free. So we're going to give you an inside the White House perimeter briefing between Senator Colcorst and yours truly, and we're going to do it next here on The Voice of Texas.
Eric. Hey, Eric, are you there? Eric, are you there?
I was daydreaming. You won't believe this. I was daydreaming. The good weather coming in. I was daydreaming about going to your house for barbecue. I know that'll never happen, but I was daydreaming about it. Why do you ask?
You didn't get my invitation?
No, but why?
For the
why
spring barbecue party on barbecue.
First day of spring.
Yeah, on my big, beautiful grill.
Isn't it amazing? I was daydreaming about that just
from
now.
Gas Product Services. That's right,
Really?
folks. Yep, Gas Product Services. You remember them?
Oh, don't I?
The best grill maker, grill cleaner, grill installer folks in the Southeast Texas.
Does your starter still work?
It does. It absolutely still works. How many years has this been? 4 years?
At least.
Can you imagine starters on a gas grill lasting 4 years? 4 years. Is that not incredible? And I want to tell you something else, folks. I never clean the dang thing, ever.
Who does?
I
Ben?
think I'll
Nobody.
eat out.
You know what I do? I call gas.
I just have to ask, okay?
I call Gas Product Services.
And they come and clean it.
And Russell comes over and
That's
cleans
right,
it.
folks.
Right.
Gas
What a
Product
deal.
Services at 281-798-8006 or check out their stuff online at gasproductservices.com. Spring is sprung. It's time to crank it up, folks. Get out there and do some barbecue and grilling on your grill. Bought, paid for by me, and maintained by Gas Product Services.
But you'll have to buy your own.
Want to lower your monthly debt? Are you thinking about a cash-out refinance? Hi, it's Kathy from Baker Mortgage. A cash-out refinance can get you back in your comfort zone, and that's what it's all about. A recent client who closed with us had his payment go up about $300, but his monthly outgo was being reduced by $1,200, so giving him a net positive cash flow of $900. It's not about adding debt, but restructuring it in a way that makes sense, and this math totally makes sense. And please don't sweat it if your interest rate is going up a little or if you're extending the term. I can show you by taking a small amount of what you're saving monthly and applying it towards your mortgage, you're going to pay it off just as quickly and you'll be way ahead in the money game, which is where we all want to be, right? Remember, we want to help you, but we're not going to help you over a cliff. Baker Mortgage, 281-313-MOVE, or go directly to bakermortgage.com.
Equal housing lender, license number 263213. This report sponsored by Gallery Furniture. If made in America is important to you, come to Gallery Furniture. Buy it today, get it today. Gallery Furniture saves you money.
From the KSEV Weather Center, this afternoon will be mostly sunny and very warm with a high temperature of 86. Tonight, expect clear to partly cloudy skies with patchy late-night fog causing reduced visibility and a low temperature of 62. Tomorrow, there will be patchy morning fog leading to reduced visibility. Otherwise, it will be mostly sunny and very warm with the temperature reaching a high of 88 degrees, breaking the record high of 87 set in 1907. With the KSEV Weather Center forecast, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Get ready for Easter Sunday dinner the right way. After church, around a beautiful new dining room table and chairs made in America from Gallery Furniture. The tremendous Easter sale is going on right now with hundreds of tables and chairs made in America, in stock, gorgeous solid wood furniture made by Amish craftsmen. And yes, we're saying it loud and proud. Easter is sacred. Easter is holy. Easter is about faith, family, and gratitude. Buy your table today. Gallery Furniture delivers just in time for Easter Sunday dinner.
Let me tell you how it will be. There's one for you, 19 for me. 'Cause I'm the tax man.
Yeah, you've got the tax man in with the three amigos here on the Voice of Texas. Beautiful spring day. We've got the Soul Man and the Judge and our favorite Senate amiga, Lois Colcourt from Brennan. And Loke, it is like 50 degrees warmer here, I tell you.
Oh,
well,
yeah. I landed today and I had on a sweater. I was freezing in Washington, D.C., and I was sweating in Texas. But I'd rather sweat in Texas than any other place in the world. Good to be back in Texas.
You can have your wish every summer
now,
for that.
Now, Eric, which senator do you think was smart enough to bring their cashmere coat?
Lois Colcourt.
No, I forgot my coat, but it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Where the cherry blossoms.
You see how I handled that question, Lois?
Yeah, Lois, at least Ben knows who he's trying to suck up
Ben,
to.
You're welcome.
Were
Anytime.
the cherry blossoms out yet?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
April
boy.
1st. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh,
No,
boy.
and we've got
It
some
was
great
beautiful.
pictures of us right outside the office buildings inside the perimeter.
Yeah.
Now, we had a
the
very
Eisenhower
good
building. Yeah.
right. We had a great White House conference, and basically we had cabinet secretaries come in, talk about their areas. The two areas we'll cover right now is Lois has been a real big proponent of MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. Kennedy came in and actually did a very good job explaining something that Lois has been talking about for a while. It's the purity of food, especially when we're buying stuff from third parties. Lois Colcourt, take it.
Yeah. There's a big movement. It's with young people, mothers out there. If you're listening, you know what I'm talking about. And that's all the additives, the processed foods that we have in our system. I mean, our kids are eating 70% of their food is processed food. It is leading to chronic illnesses like we've never seen. So I want to touch on something that the White House is doing. And Paul, Senator Betancourt, I want to tell you, we had almost 100 House members and senators there. And I've got to tell you, we heard from 8 cabinet members in a small room. We had one-on-ones. We could ask questions. It got a little spicy every once in a while. It was great. And this administration is doing more than what the general media, the mainstream media is telling you. So I'm going to tell you right now, there's a rule called the Generally Recognized as Safe Rule, 1958. It was passed in Congress. FDA said, hey, okay, things like salt and yeast and things like that, that's generally recognized as safe. You can put it in the food without it being tested. Well, guess what happened? That was exploited by big food. And today, I want y'all to know that we have somewhere, and we don't know how many, but between 4,000 and 10,000 ingredients that have bypassed the testing, and they're in our food. Compare that to Europe has 400 ingredients that you can put in your food, but we have between 4,000 and 10,000 with no testing, and basically grass allows you to put something in there, and if it causes cancer later on, we tell you to pull it out. I'm simplifying it, but it is almost that simple. And so RFK Jr. is working on getting that out. The first thing that we have to do is we have to go back and we have to literally find out what these 10,000 ingredients are. The second thing we're doing is making a definition of what processed food is, and so that we eventually put a label that's green, yellow, red. And it's going to alert.
Let me Lois, slow down. Because this was a very good discussion, because you were having it literally on the floor in real time with the cabinet secretary.
Me, one-on-one, mano-a-mano with RFK Jr. exchanging ideas.
Because I had one on voter integrity, but another one on affordable housing. We'll get to that in a second. Now, you had brought up the red-green, yellow combo, because they were going to do it, and then they stopped, and you encouraged them to get that out so the public can see what they're buying. And then Kennedy made an hysterical comment. He said some of this is ultra-processed stuff trying to basically act like it's food. I thought it was really hysterical.
Yeah, it's not even really food. It has no nutritional value. And they're doing this in other countries. Food manufacturers are doing this in Mexico. Food manufacturers are doing this in, I think he said, Bolivia. And so we're talking third world countries that can do this. So I'm super excited about that, but I've got to tell y'all a couple other things. And this is y'all know how extraordinary that you have 8 cabinet members come in and they stayed until every question was answered? And so one other thing that I want to bring up, so we're going to make our food healthy again. But I also want to bring up something that is, I think Senator Perry turned to me and goes, nobody knows this. So we are bringing back pharma production to America. We're not going to let China make our pharmaceuticals anymore. We're going to bring that back. We're also lowering the cost of drugs to the Europe prices. Europe pays for one particular drug, they may pay $40 and we're paying $1,400. So they're working on rules right now that bring those drug prices down. And we're also, this is really big because we've done this in Texas, but now we're going to do it across the nation. Price transparency for every procedure in the country at every hospital. There is going to be a database that is created for every procedure so that you, the consumer of healthcare, can know what these prices are. And so I also want to say in the one big, beautiful bill that this has been overlooked.
It's
there
very
is a
big,
part of it that
and
makes
it's huge,
insurance companies must show what their profits are. They're going to give us their P&Ls. So what I want to tell everyone out there is, listen, we know that prices are too high and inflation is out. And I'm telling you that this administration and this Republican Congress is like laser focused on fixing it. It just doesn't happen overnight. But I came away from these meetings, Three Amigos, with more optimism than I have had in probably 8 years, 10 years. I mean, I am high on what they are doing, and some of these things are just not, like I said, Senator Perry leaning over going, I didn't know this. Why didn't we know we're going to lower drug prices? And so stay with us. It's going to happen. And I know, Paul, you're going to hit on affordable housing. I want to end it with the Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick. And I'm going to tell you the access that we had. Paul and I went up to him afterwards and had a one-on-one for about 5 to 10 minutes about energy prices. And they just cut the deal with Japan yesterday. They're going to lower their tariffs from 25% to 15%. In exchange, they gave us $550 billion. We're going to build, just the announcement yesterday, $16 billion right outside of Palestine in this, huge plant that's going up. So we're on the move. We're about to unleash the economy, the American economy on the world.
And Lois,
I'm super excited.
Right. Give me a minute. Ben, Howard is the old friend of Trump who lost, like
Cantor Fitzgerald. I'm familiar with
like quarter of his employees
right, on 9/11.
And they rebuilt the company and paid for all the dependents after 9/11. It's a fantastic story. We went up and visited with him, and he is a really, a deal maker, in a plus, maybe one of the best in the country. And he talked about the deals that he put together with Japan, and they lowered the tariff, and he's taking 10% of their revenues and putting it into a fund of $550 billion, if I'm remembering correctly.
550, yep.
Right.
Yep.
And
he's taken 10% of the EBITDA, actually.
Right, EBITDA, and they're going to have
buying down electrical prices. It's crazy good.
Well, and he's actually
right,
he's actually sponsoring projects with it. The first project's about 105, and basically they're going to be putting in what are effectively a huge data center also up in Anderson County that they announced as well. So there's a lot.
What they're trying to do is make them bring their own power.
And that's right, with cogen and with power, Ben. So, to get around the pitchforks that we've been seeing out there of people worried about their electrical prices up. And we also visited with the fact that, quite frankly, this good news needs to get out now and not wait, for another 6 months, because they are, he's crushing it with some of these deals that he's got. You agree, Senator Colkhorst? Give you the last word.
I do. And one thing that I want to tell y'all, that this administration is really, I wrote this quote down, okay? And this was, we are checking every choke point and addressing them. Where China is controlling us, we are bringing those jobs and that manufacturing back, semiconductors, we are bringing those back to America. He said, why do we think that it's a smart thing that all of our chips are made on some little island just off the coast of China, where China could march in there and take over and completely shut us down?
Right. Let me
So
give you
a lot of the things that they're doing, and I want the listeners to understand this because I didn't understand it until I spent 6 hours yesterday listening, and now I'm researching. We are looking about, when Trump talks about the golden age, he's bringing these jobs back to America. He's bringing oil production back to America. We're going to make our own.
And Lois, let me give them two
chip.
concrete examples. One,
Pharmacy.
Turbines, okay? We simply don't
Yeah.
have enough turbines for the power projects we've got. The turbine backlog was going to be like multiple years. And Howard's solution was to go to GE, Ravanaugh, and the others and say, look, I want 300 of these, okay? I want 300 turbines because we've got power plants that we could build from now till, for several years. And he goes, I don't want the existing supply. You guys have got to boost the production. And he's talking about using some of this set-aside Japanese money for that. Another issue, transformers, Ben. We are way backlogged on big transformers. You can't have power plants and produce anything without step-down transformers.
Don't look at me. I own stock in GE Vernova.
Yeah, right, Vernova, right. Sorry. So Ben, congratulations. Let's give Ben a ringing bell because that's probably a stock tip from Ben. And it's this type of stuff, and he's got a board that they look for this, and he literally says he puts flags on it on where we start trying to rebuild manufacturing. It was a very cool ending for Senator Colhorst and I. Loke and El Senador had a great discussion with probably the most influential guy up there that people don't know, because he's been a friend of Trump's for 30 years. So he spends a lot of time talking to Trump on the second and third shifts, and he's that smart.
And I've got to tell you that, I mean, when I say Paul and I went one-on-one, it was the last speaker of the day, and so we went up to the secretary and we started just exchanging ideas, Senator Bencourt and I, with him. And the approachable, I mean, think about that. He had just walked out of cutting the deal with the Japanese Prime Minister and Donald Trump. I mean, he had just left that office to come to talk to us, give us this briefing, and to understand that as he said, for decades now, we've kicked the can down the road and we can't do it. So I want to say to all of us listening, Texas is positioned. We're getting a refinery. Now we're getting this big investment, $16 billion in Anderson County, which is Palestine, just north of Palestine. And we're doing things, and Texas is positioned to do these things, to be, again, the economic engine for this nation. And I'm bragging as a Texan. But they say if it's the truth, it ain't bragging. So there you go. But this administration is going step by step by step, and it is going to unleash something, and it's going to get better for all of us. It's just very strategic, and it takes a while to move the ship, and they are moving it.
All right,
they're turning.
Senator Lois Colhorst with a great report from what we did on our D.C. spring break vacation, but it really wasn't. We went up there and had some really good conversations and flew up and back. Want to give a shout out to Gary Gates, who was our host for the transportation, and Dr. Tom Alderson, who was with us as well, and along with all the rest of the Harris County and others and the senators too. Lois, so have a great weekend.
Hey, three amigos.
Yeah, thanks, Senator.
Thank you.
Thanks for the report.
Adios, amiga.
Thank
All right.
you. Always.
Adios.
All right, get your calls in 281-558-5738. We got some clips by Ben from the Trumpster. It was great having all the Texans in. They were huge, Ben.
Yeah,
they were wonderful.
And we're going to talk about AppKiss, right?
Well, I don't know what we're going to talk about.
We're going to talk about AppKiss.
All right, and Ben's going to explain it right after this on The Voice of Texas. Hey,
It's Joe Pax coming up. Senator John Cornyn answers all the questions you want answers to, leading up to that runoff with Ken Paxton. And Representative Brandon Gill on not doing anything about Senate bills until the Save America Act is passed. And more on The Joe Pags Show. Tonight at 7 on KSEV and KGBC. Still the voice of Texas.
At O'Hara & Company Real Estate, we believe there are people in our country and other countries that are trying to chip away at our freedom. We are taking a stand against the tyranny that is happening and want to protect what our veterans and forefathers have fought and died for. Texans are independent thinkers, self-reliant, and bold. If you want a real estate company that has a backbone, give us a call at 281-373-3393. Again, that's 281-373-3393, or look us up on the web at o'harare.com. O'Hara & Company Real Estate backs our patriots, veterans, and first responders. We are proud to stand up for what we believe in, so give us a call at 281-373-3393. Again, 281-373-3393, or look us up on the web at o'harare.com. As William Wallace said in Braveheart, they can take away our lives, but they will never take away our freedom. God bless America, and God bless Texas.
Hi, I'm Tommy Mello with Garage Door Doctors. My mom recently moved into a new home with a builder-grade garage door. Noisy, flimsy, and not built to last, so we're fixing that. Mom, you're my hero. When I was growing up, she worked 3 jobs just to save our house.
And helped you build this company.
Now I'm giving her a beautiful new garage door that's built to last. The garage is 40% of your home's curb appeal. When it looks good and it works great.
Life is good. Thanks, Tommy.
From repairs to upgrades, call Garage Door Doctor today.
Tune in each Sunday morning at 9 a.m. for On the Money with your host and CEO of Allied Wealth Texas, Ryan Wheelis, who can help you live your richest life possible during your retirement years. That's each Sunday at 9 a.m. right here on AM 700 KSEV.
Okay, OJs. Release Love Train on this day.
Working 9 to 5.
Dolly Parton releases 9 to 5, and it goes to number 1 on this day. But there's more. Van Halen. Jump. Release. And number 1 on this day. And we conclude Billie Jean, number 1 on this date, released straight to number 1. And we're number 1 also in the hearts and minds of our listeners. 1540 KGBC, 700 KSEV, the voice of Texas.
And Ben, we are broadcasting on all the...
we are on YouTube TV. We are on Facebook.com and Rumble. Remind me, we got to add Apple on there, I think. You know, they've been wanting us to get us on. They've heard about us.
At KSEVradio.com, too. All right?
They've been really trying to force us on.
know, Eric, we're everywhere because we're huge, because we are the... Say it.
Ben, most influential political talk show in the entire state of Texas.
Senator Betancourt and Ben Struz and Eric Andel on a beautiful spring. Ooh,
beautiful start to spring.
Day.
All right.
Goodness gracious.
Let's get John up. Hey, John, you're up next on The Voice of Texas. Come on, John.
Thank you, gentlemen. I would respectfully encourage all of you to think deeply about your economic philosophy. You know, what you're sitting here talking about is economic central planning. And you are engaging in collectivist thinking with this we versus them mode of, we're the good guys, China's the bad guys, etc. Donald Trump, nor you, nor I, know where things should be manufactured. China has an enormous advantage over us in terms of population.
Of course, go ahead, finish up, John.
And engaging in this kind of trade warfare between the United States and China would be as stupid as trying to engage in trade warfare between Utah and Texas.
Yeah, so
it
John,
doesn't make any sense.
All right, John. So normally I would agree with you if it was not a hostile country seeking to basically remove the U.S. as the supreme superpower, an architect of, U.S. dominated trade. So the problem is that China, ever since they joined the World Trade Organization, I think it was in 2001, under Bush,
25 years
they
ago.
have not accepted nor agreed to the stipulations of the treaty. And number one,
or
they have
any private property rights on any of the patents or anything else.
They have a fixed exchange rate, which has always kept the value of the yuan below what it would be worth on the free market in order to encourage their own exports and discourage imports. They require any U.S. business doing business in China to have a majority partner who is Chinese, and that allows them essentially to steal all of the manufacturing, technological, and scientific trademarks of whoever does business in China. And to a certain extent, people know this and they try to plan for it, but nevertheless, they take those technologies, they turn them around, then they re-export them to the rest of the world, make our products non-competitive. Even to the extent that this would not necessarily be a problem, except for the fact we are in a global competition with them for world domination. We don't need to have our supply chains hostage. We don't need our rare earth minerals hostage. We don't need our computer and semiconductor assets held hostage by the Chinese when we're in this global trade battle and battle for world supremacy. And it's just really stupid on our part to have put ourselves in this position to be so dependent on a country like China
John,
that is clearly not friendly.
Let me give you an example that the secretary, because you, John, turn down your volume because you're echoing back. A great example that Secretary Howard gave was this. He's looking at television. Okay. All right, we lost him. Okay, we're looking at televisions as an example. There's three suppliers. There's Japanese supplier, Korean supplier, and the Chinese.
Very few Japanese now because they are priced out of the market.
Right, and they want to sell out to the Chinese. So really we have LG in South Korea and the Chinese. Now, he looked at it and said, look, I can't do anything about that. But I can say we need more gas turbines from GE. What's the name, Ben?
Vernova.
So, and hold on, let me finish, Ben. And because we need more supply to be able to create more electricity.
It's about picking and choosing.
You're choosing your battles.
Because, I don't care if the Chinese want to manufacture little Mai Tais that go into my, tequila sunrises. I could care less about the little umbrellas, as many as they want to make and import. In fact, I don't care much about furniture, to be honest with you. But when it comes to pharmaceuticals and critical supplies in our supply chain, with a hostile, unfriendly, they're not even frenemies anymore. Okay, we're in a battle for world domination with the Chinese, the Russians, the Iranians, and to a lesser extent the North Koreans. And it's just ridiculous to be so dependent upon them for those supply chains. So it's time to get out, and I support everything Trump is doing. Doesn't mean I'm a big tariff fan in a lot of other instances, but I got to say that in terms of getting or exploiting American power and soft diplomacy, tariffs are one way to do it. I go back to that instance when his first term, when the crazy Muslim autocrat that runs Turkey took that Christian priest hostage because he didn't like something the United States was doing, I think giving political asylum to one of his opponents. So he takes this Christian pastor hostage, and Trump turns around and cripples their steel and aluminum industry and their steel and aluminum imports into the United States, and the value of the Turkish lira absolutely plummets, and within about 3 weeks, that pastor was released. So to the extent that it's a very valuable weapon in order to make sure that a U.S. policy is enforced overseas, I'm all for it. He didn't actually handle it necessarily in the most artful way. I don't think that everywhere, everything tariffs are the way to go, but I do think it's time to redress a lot of the imbalances that have occurred over the last couple, 20 years.
Okay, Gary, who do we got on line one here? Okay, John, come back.
Can I respond to that?
Sure.
The echo, I don't think it's on my end. I think it's in the phone system. But in any event, I started this conversation by suggesting that you think deeply about the we. There is no we. It's collectivist thinking. There are individuals, companies, individual people. There's no we, and there's no they. It's just bad thinking. And to the extent that China has economic policies that are counter to the free market, it impoverishes their people, not ours.
No, John. That's not statistically correct.
And it doesn't make any difference
when they
because
steal. Go ahead.
We can't be dependent upon them for critical missile components
for
that we may have to
strategic
fight a
defense.
war with them or fight somebody else. It's crazy.
And John, and the obviously when they steal intellectual property rights, they're stealing our hard-earned ones, and they don't pay for it, so they have a lower cost of goods sold.
If they wanted the secrets to the McDonald's Big Mac, and if McDonald's wants to do it, fine. But when it comes to critical missile components, it's nuts.
But John, thanks for the call and sparking debate. So appreciate it. All right, get your calls in now. 281-558-5738, 281-558-KSEV or pound KSEV. Is free for those Verizon callers. We've got Soul Man coming out of the break with more Trumpster clips next here on The Voice of Texas.
The flagship station of true conservative talk radio, The Voice of Texas.
50 years in the Lone Star State, a one-stop shop so you're never late. Price is so low that you want to know which way to Specs. Come on, let's go. Specs, wine, spirits, and finer foods. World-class service, that's all about you. Shout Specs, it's how we do. A huge selection since 62. Shout Specs, low priced, amazing. Here's to you. Shout, cheers to savings.
Checo Pro Joe here. Join me this Saturday at 11 a.m. when Andrew from A&A Gem Pro Generators discusses whole home standby generators and the peace of mind they bring. That's this Saturday at 11, right here on AM 700 KSEV, the voice of Texas.
Hey, it's Joe Pax coming up. Senator John Cornyn answers all the questions you want answers to leading up to that runoff with Ken Paxton. And Representative Brandon Gill on not doing anything about Senate bills until the Save America Act is passed, and more on The Joe Pags Show. Tonight at 7 on KSEV and KGBC. Still the voice of Texas.
Take it, Ben. Don't keep the audience waiting, Ben.
And welcome back to the Voice of Texas. Thanks for joining us on a Friday drive home afternoon. Three Amigos, been the Soul Man, the Strew with the View, Strew Sand on the right. You got the tax man, Paul Betancourt at the helm. The liberal lefty judge, Eric Yandel. That was a good call from John, by the way. Yeah. Didn't necessarily agree with him, but it was a good call. And by the way, I just want to let everybody know we are video, a live stream on YouTube at KSEV Radio, Rumble at KSEV Radio, Facebook at KSEV Radio. Are we podcasting audio yet on Apple? We are. Okay, we're podcasting audio on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and iHeart and Amazon Music and a lot of others. So, boy, you ought to be able to listen to us somewhere. And I'm starting to get these messages. I'm on, what am I on? I'm on YouTube right now.
What are they saying about you?
Well, here was an interesting comment, very interesting comment, if you want to hear it.
About Ben?
Well, it's just a comment. They said, I'm sure Gas Product Services is a fine company, but charcoal is the only way to go.
Wow.
And you know what my response is? I said, charcoal briquettes is for losers.
Oh! Whoa!
There goes that listener.
Yeah, there goes one. Yeah, minus one listener.
Sorry about
I love this whole internet thing. When did they start this?
At least he knows how I feel. That texter knows how I feel.
When did they turn
Friday.
this thing on? This is great. I got to tell you.
All right. So anyway, by the way, you go to Team Betancourt. We just tweeted out Senator Colkhorst and I's comment and quote the Amigos saying that KP George should resign. Go to Team Betancourt. You can like and share that right now. So that makes 2 county judges.
So we're like a global. It's a global thing, right?
Yeah.
Because all this is global. Even
anywhere in the world, Eric.
In China.
Yeah, they're listening right now.
In
China. They've been listening long before.
In
They've
China.
been listening long before.
Anyway, we had all these talks. We had the chief technology officer. We could talk about nuclear power. We're going to talk next week about housing affordability because I'm sending a letter with all Texas successes
I
to
think
Scott Turner.
hopefully you can do
who's the head of that.
Hopefully you can tell Tim Scott that he needs to change some aspects of that bill because right now it is not ready for prime time. Their housing bill.
Okay,
and that's the one where he doesn't allow private investors to buy home, which is
so
about
what-
half of a point.
First of all, that's not what it does, but I'll correct you because you're on the right track. I said what they do is they do not allow private or publicly traded companies who own more than 100 investment properties to keep a property they purchase for more than 7 years. And so right now, post the 07-08, financial recession, there were a lot of private large money players that came in and bought up all the foreclosed houses.
But there's
that were
also
for
a
sale.
bunch of people that own 3 to 12 properties, Ben.
And they're leaving them alone in this bill and not messing with it, but they're going
Individuals, of
yeah,
course,
they're-
right.
right. But there are also individuals that own more than 100. But,
Oh, sure.
But I will say, I get what they're trying to do, but this is not the way to go about doing it. I mean, these houses that are being leased to people who can't afford to purchase their own home.
Correct.
And that's where it goes. I mean, it supplies housing. It's basically a step up from an apartment, essentially, is what it is. And it's become a waste stop: apartment, rental home, purchase home. And that's basically what it's become. And you are destroying their business model because they're not going to be able to invest in properties anymore. There's not enough money in it for them to buy houses and turn around and lease them out if they have to turn around and resell them again after 7 years. I don't think you can recoup your investment, and then that assumes you don't have a big housing downturn. And if we do have a housing downturn, you're going to want those investor companies to buy houses because they're going to gobble up the supply and keep everybody's price from falling. What we're talking about is affecting the price level of everybody's home, and that's the last thing you want to do. Negatively, you don't want to do that. You don't want everybody's value coming down, although it would help you guys.
Yeah, but I mean, part of this is, look, you have to have enough capital to do an investment and keep the investment up to where people will want to rent from those
and then you got to
locations.
recoup that money,
and then you got to recoup it. And so this is a two-edged sword where
this is Elizabeth Warren's plan adopted by Republicans. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, well,
it certainly seems anti-capitalism.
They're
that's for
supporting
sure.
it. Elizabeth Warren is the biggest proponent of it.
Yeah, but
really,
but Trump's going along with it. So
yes,
what do you?
It's sponsored by Tim Scott in the Senate. He's got to change this. I'm hoping the House comes to its senses and takes the bad parts
Is there
out
a
of it.
constitutional issue here where you would ban ownership?
I don't know. I'm sure it'll be challenged.
Well, we ban ownership in other areas.
Well, we do,
yes.
but I mean, if it's U.S. corporation or U.S. partnerships.
Yeah, I think you can limit.
Yeah, you think you
so.
can?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, it's, the bottom line is what you don't want to do is
you might be able to penalize them if they keep it.
You don't want to create a scarcity of housing. That's the problem. And if you limit who can own or develop it,
right? I mean,
that generally ends up with a scarcity.
Yeah, right now they are actually building. New home builders are building
rental
new
homes.
Subdivisions specifically for rental units.
But here's the thing, Ben.
I don't see why that's a bad thing.
It's less than 1%.
It is.
We're trying to regulate something that really isn't an issue.
I don't disagree with you, Eric. I think it's bad policy, and I don't think they should be doing this. And I think they're unintended consequences. They're not thinking it through. And at the margin, that 1 or 2% may make a difference in a housing recession if everybody's values are falling.
Well, and by the way,
you want those units being purchased.
Secretary Turner and I had a conversation, and I'm going to be sending him all.
He's a former state rep here,
right? And we sent him all the 9 bills that we passed in the last session because we're way out ahead on trying to solve housing affordability in Texas.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about AppKiss at the top of the hour, right?
Right. Whatever it is, we're going to talk about it next. Get your calls in 281-558-5738. The Three Amigos will be back after this on The Voice of Texas.
You're listening to the Voice of Texas, AM 700 KSEV.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Thousands of U.S. Marines and sailors are being sent to the Middle East. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
The U.S. military is deploying 3 more warships and roughly 2,500 more Marines to the Mideast as the war with Iran hits the 3-week mark. However, a White House official says President Trump has no plans to send troops into Iran despite the new deployment. At the same time, the president has said he does not plan to broadcast his military strategy. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Wait times at airport security checkpoints have become a guessing game during the Transportation Security Administration shutdown.
Absences among TSA officers are a big factor in determining whether or not the lines move quickly. Roughly 50,000 federal workers screening passengers and bags have been working without pay while lawmakers fail to agree on Homeland Security funding. The department says about 10% of TSA officers nationwide missed work each day between Monday and Wednesday. Airports in Atlanta and Houston saw absentee rates of roughly 38%. Rich Thomason, Washington.
CBS News says it's shutting down its radio news service after nearly a century of operations as part of a round of layoffs at the company. When it began operations in September of 1927, the radio service was a precursor to the entire CBS network. It gave young executive William S. Paley his start and was the home of legendary broadcaster Edward R. Murrow's reports from London during World War II. Today, it's primarily known for its top-of-the-hour news roundups. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 443 points, the Nasdaq dropped 443, the S&P lower by 100. More at Town Hall.
Hey, I'm Kirk Cameron. Is health insurance eating up your budget for 2026? If you're looking for ways to better steward your finances, consider this: Christian Healthcare Ministries. It's a health insurance alternative at half the cost. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. While insurance companies tell you when to join, what to pay, and where to go, CHM is different. As a ministry, CHM allows you to share the burden of medical bills with other Christians. You can enroll, switch programs, or leave at any time. Christian Healthcare Ministries. It's a world of difference. CHM has 4 flexible programs. You can pick any certified doctor, surgeon, or hospital that you want for eligible care. So make the switch. Take your paycheck back from health insurance this year. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. That's chministries.org/wellness.
You're listening to the Voice of Texas, AM 700 KSEV Tomball and AM 1540 KGBC Galveston.
From KSEV, here's political contributor Ben Strusand.
For 47 years, the Islamic leaders running Iran have waged war against the United States and its allies, killing Americans, taking hostages, and attempting assassinations of American leaders. After losing a 12-day war with Israel, the Iranian regime was reconstituting its ballistic missile and drone forces, adding around 100 a month, and moving its highly enriched uranium from sites destroyed by the U.S. to safer areas in order to continue their nuclear weapons program. The Trump administration attempted to negotiate a deal offering to provide free enriched uranium for peaceful energy use, but the Iranians refused to give up their centrifuges or their ballistic missiles. They had no intention of changing course. As in the past, the Iranian strategy was to drag out the negotiations until someone not named Trump was in charge, and who can blame them? Other presidents issued warnings and drew red lines, but Trump, rather than waiting for the regime to rebuild its forces, decided to act again. Democrats and their media allies are asking, why now? What justifies a U.S. attack? They are right to claim that the threat was not imminent, but it was constant. Trump, believing that the regime was weakened by the war with Israel and facing an uprising domestically, felt the timing was right and decided to decapitate their leadership and eliminate the threat. Unquestionably, the regime is entrenched. They have millions of followers and they have nowhere to go. Removing all of them may be impossible. Nevertheless, a government run by homicidal maniacs seeking martyrdom in the name of Allah just can't be allowed to gain the tools necessary to implement their vision. Whether we do it now or later makes no difference. It must be done. Both the Democrats and Tucker Carlson are wrong. This is not a forever war. This is not a war of choice. It is a war of no choice. Comparisons to Iraq are dishonest, meant to scare stupid people because despite the 47-year history of evidence, beginning with the hostages taken at our embassy, stupid people still think that this regime I'm Ben Strusand, and that's my view.
Ben Strusand, only on AM 700 KSEV.
From the KSEV Weather Center, tonight expect clear to partly cloudy skies with patchy late-night fog causing reduced visibility. The low will be 62. Tomorrow there will be patchy fog in the morning leading to reduced visibility, but overall it'll be mostly sunny and very warm. The temperature is expected to reach a high of 88, breaking the record high of 87 set in 1907. Tomorrow night will be mostly clear with patchy late-night fog reducing visibility once again. The low will be 63. With the KSEV Weather Center forecast, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina.
Three brave amigos are we.
Andale, amigos.
To brother and everyone, a brave amigo, and amigos forever will.
That's right, it's Amigos Forever here on the Voice of Texas. Thanks for joining us on a beautiful Friday, first spring Friday of the year. You got the Texas man, El Senador Paul Betancourt at the helm, the soul man of the previous Review, Ben Struzan, and the effervescent, ever ready Judge Eric Andel. Get your calls into producer El Supremo Gary at 281-558-5738. Get in line with Stephen, too. We got some calls holding over. We'll get you in a little bit at 281-558-KSEV. Lots going on internationally.
We're actually broadcasting live on YouTube and Facebook and Rumble, and I'm actually getting some comments from some of our listeners. Very interesting. I'm going to try to respond.
Looking?
Yeah, I am.
Are we? We're live right now.
Yeah,
how do I look? Well, wait a minute. How do I look?
Well, you're really not in. You're kind of cut off. I can see.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you, Craig.
Yeah.
So, Eric, if you went in, move a little to the right, and they'll get you
I
in.
can't move to the right. I can only move to the left.
We're going to talk about whatever you want, so just hang on the phone, folks. But we also going to play some clips from the Trumpster and some of the things that happened this week. So there was this big brouhaha earlier in the week when this guy named, what's his name, West or whatever, resigned and tried to say that, he's a disaffected MAGA guy and he's unhappy and he thinks Trump was duped by the Israelis into
and
launching
there's no credible evidence of anything.
It was just so stupid, like anybody's going to dupe Trump. But I just want to play a couple of clips from the CNN pollster Harry Etienne early in the
good.
week.
What did he have
so
to say?
Let's hey guys, pay attention over here. Let's play a couple of clips. We want to play number 2. He did a poll of not only Republican Party attitudes on the war in Iran, but also overall attitudes on the war in Iran. And I showed you, and I showed him earlier, Paul, a clip where Trump's unpopularity, he's underwater by about 13 points. But on Iran and the war, he's only underwater about 5 points, which really surprised me because I thought the war was very unpopular at the very beginning, but I think it's changed. I could feel the shift in momentum over the last 2 weeks. So he's actually picking up support amongst either other Republicans or independents or somebody is shifting back in his favor. Now, when Harry Etienne went on CNN and started talking about this, because this is right after that guy quit and decided to make such a big deal about it, the Gabby Giffords person that should have never been hired in the first place.
Tulsi.
Yeah,
right.
Gabby, Tulsi, whatever. They're all the same. Let's play number 2.
Gabbard.
Play number 2. This is the pollster on CNN.
Just take a look here. MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve 100%. 100%. If you are a member of MAGA and the GOP, you approve of Donald John Trump. 0% say that they disapprove. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%. He is the 1972 Miami Dolphins. Now, there are some Republicans who disapprove of Donald John Trump.
All right, let's cut that
but
one
they
off.
are not members
And let's play this number 3 because, I know Eric's comeback is going to be, well, yeah, sure, MAGA, all the MAGA people, whatever. But it doesn't explain the shift. Let's play number 3.
It's interesting, though, because there have been a couple prominent people who have sort of come out online, and they're very mad about this war with Iran because he promised no
Tucker
wars.
Carlson.
Is there any sign that people might be leaving MAGA relative to 2024?
Yeah, okay. So, I've said it before, and, the theme of this segment is Tucker Carlson be darned. And when we look at the numbers, I've heard some people say, oh, when you look at those MAGA numbers, it doesn't account for those who might have left MAGA. But take a look here. Americans who identify as MAGA, in November of 2024, it was 28% of Americans. Now it's basically the same. If anything, it's slightly higher at 30%. The bottom line is this. The MAGA base within the GOP is not shrinking. It's the same size. If anything, it is slightly larger than it was back in 2024 when, of course, Donald Trump won a second term. So that 100% that Donald Trump has approval among MAGA GOP, that is not an artifact of MAGA shrinking. It's just an indication of how strong Donald Trump's grip is on that MAGA base.
All right. Now, anecdotally, people that aren't in MAGA are for this. Because
well, they'd have to be.
Right.
If that polling is
now,
and the national polling,
you would have
Right.
independents.
Absolutely, they shifted back.
In general, are for this for sure.
85% of Republicans,
now, there
according
is
to polls.
What I call a pure. Well, it was called America First back before World War II.
But it's that Tucker Carlson. That is a very thin sliver of people.
That's a Lindbergh, aka a pure isolationist
That's what it
crew.
is. Yeah.
So,
See, and I again, Eric, you're gonna say this is never gonna. I know what you're gonna tell me, and I'm gonna let you say it. But before I say this, you don't know what the alternative looks like, and the alternative to me is dealing with people who are homicidal maniacs who want to kill people in the name of Allah.
Ben, let me summarize. Everybody thinks that if we start it, we have to win it, and if we don't, it's big trouble.
I agree. Yes, you can.
No,
yes,
you
you
can.
can.
No, you can't.
And that's where APKIS comes in, the Advanced Precision Kill Weapons System being flown by A-10 Warthogs over the Gulf. They take dumb rockets, they put a laser on top of them, and they kill drones. And that Marine Expeditionary Force, that's going on tankers and cargo ships and maybe Carg Island, but we ain't going to occupy anybody, and we're not going to use it for regime.
We heard this last night, and
I heard this in the 60s.
No, well, this is different. The technology is much better.
In Iraq.
It's better than then even. Now, let me tell you what we heard. We did hear that Russia and China are resupplying Iran through, we think, the stands and the Caspian Sea, effectively their own drones, which are all copied and made by the same.
Last week Putin denied he was providing intelligence. This week he says, well, I'll stop providing intelligence if you stop giving it to Ukraine. Give me a break.
He's always talking out of both sides of his mouth.
Yeah, we know that.
Now, we also heard about this, that they need this, and this is the plane.
The fastest way to the Chinese heart is to cut off Iranian shipments of Chinese oil right now.
Right. Okay.
And they can do it without blowing up Carg Island.
Ben, let's explain your precision. Guided.
I got the
platform.
I got the KISS part. But I think it's half. Of
now,
the other
this is the old Warthog, the plane that refuses to die because they don't have any other plane that's ever been made that's as good of a ground.
Actually flies that slow.
Flies and also can attack seaborne targets as well as.
And they're going to use Apache helicopters to take out the drones, and they'll be escorting these ships in 30 days.
Now you're going to have
and
all of that.
And it will relieve oil prices, and I don't know how long we will be there.
You're going to have all of that to get enough picket ships protection to be able to stop. Because remember, right after the Israeli strike, they hit a couple more tankers, man. They hit the Haifa oil refinery. They hit Qatar. Yes, they have enough resupply. Now, I will say
it's more leftovers.
Right. Well, no, I think it's resupply.
I don't think. I think your manufacturing
Ben, you're
is
discounting
destroyed.
their ability to disrupt.
Ben, they're getting.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
You are discounting the ability of the Americans to intervene.
Time out.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm
Okay,
just saying you
to
can't
protect.
win this.
Okay,
you can't.
We're
win
discounting the
this.
ability.
Your definition of win is different than.
Okay, we're discounting the ability to get to the callers. Let me make a point. They clearly have reduced stocks, but I'm beginning to think the only way they are continuing is resupply from Russia and China.
Well,
and that includes drones.
Yeah, and
All
there
right?
is a Shahed manufacturing facility inside Russia. That is correct.
Right. So, and I believe, and the rumors,
we might give the Ukrainians a missile to stop it.
The rumors we heard from D.C. where that stuff's coming through the Caspian and the Turkestan, Kakistan, they're coming in.
Look,
on the north side.
It's not going back to 100% or status quo ante, but we can get enough shipping through there to bring the oil price down to take away their leverage.
All right, let's go to the phones. Let's see. Stephen, you're up next on The Voice of Texas. Come on, Stephen.
Hello, hey guys.
Hey.
Long time. I hadn't called in a while.
Glad you called back.
First of all, I just want to say, President Trump's doing a fantastic job. We could get rid of all these silly Democrats and these judges and get out of the way so he can get things rolling. Not this judge, but get things really.
Yeah,
rolling
we got to
the
get
way
rid
that
of one judge right here.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Okay, we gotta have him. He's a good man.
I agree. We have to have him as a foil. Go ahead,
Got to
Stephen.
be the foil.
So number two, another thing is when I was a young designer back in 79, I remember I was working on a project building a submarine naval base in Chabahar for the Shah of Iran. Wasn't too long after we were getting going on that project, the mullahs, took over, and I'm sitting there looking at all these drafting desks stacked up. I'm like, what am I doing in this crazy place? And I'm still there, so I mean, as far as in the business.
Hey, listen.
But anyway,
you're participating.
I remember the yellow. You remember the yellow. Boats
submarine
all around the country, all over the place. From they took our Americans hostage, and we just got to finish the job and just leave Trump alone, let him do his job.
And he's doing it. Trust me. When we were up there, Stephen,
he sure is.
I can't. The activity level with all these cabinet officials is off the charts, and I'll tell you why. They know they don't have a second term. They're already a year and a quarter into their second term. A lot of these projects are going to take, Ben, 3 to 5 years to complete.
Maybe a decade,
yeah. So they've got to get them booked. They got to get them started.
Well, they got to get them in the ground right now.
Right, because if they don't, Eric,
another administration
will cancel them.
Could probably.
Right. So anyway, good call, Stephen. We heard the same thing up there.
At least the manufacturing, projects we're seeing out east and whatnot, and the nuclear part of it too is moving. But I just wanted to comment on the housing part. I think the 7-year rule is not too bad because, I'm a wannabe investor and I messed up years ago. But I think, I was blaming all the folks from California come in. But these corporate investing companies have stole the market for little people like me to be able to go out and flip houses back in the day. 7 years isn't bad because you buy the house and you put all your profits back into it, you sell it.
Right, Stephen, the key thing is whatever we do, we have to increase supply. If we do something that reduces supply, we increase scarcity, and that means we have less housing units. Now, I don't have an opinion yet on the 7-year rule.
Rates down.
Yeah,
get those interest rates
trust
down.
me, that's a macro.
That would help quite a bit.
That's big.
Stephen, they also help the value go up on the rental properties you own.
Well, I tell you what, I can't buy a nicer home like I've been wanting to for the past 10 or 12 years ever since COVID hit. Because those investors had just jacked up the prices all around the country, and you guys know that, and it's really hurt people like me, the middle class,
but
to be able to buy a better home.
There's a lot of people buying because those investors are what's their percentage of the total take?
Less, about 1.5%.
So every 1.5% counts, Stephen, but there's a whole bunch of other people buying too. The problem is,
my daughter worked for a housing developer, and she saw from other countries all these people coming in.
It's coming, but it's also local because we've looked at the titles. It's not just one drive, and the problem is COVID fundamentally shifted everything from where you work to where you sleep, and that's why it's pushed everything out. But anyway, good call. I wish we had more time.
Thank you,
so
sir.
Call,
Appreciate it, guys.
Don't be a
Keep it
stranger.
going.
Yeah, call back.
Thank you, Stephen.
Take care.
Sure, foreign investors would come in. It's cheap here.
All right.
That depends on the dollar exchange rate.
All right, let's try to squeeze David on. David, you're up next. Come on, David.
Is he there?
David, hello.
I think he might have dropped. Oh, there he is.
Yeah,
hey,
David.
good afternoon, guys. How are y'all?
Doing fine. What you got?
Good. I was actually, I had called in. I'm the former chief of police, Klein ISD, and I had understood you guys may have a segment going on about school safety and stuff going on this afternoon. They may have lumped me in the wrong group of callers.
Well, okay, David, I have no idea, but I'm glad. Thank you for calling.
And for your service.
Yeah, for your service.
Yeah.
And, David, you're plowing the road.
Hey,
I've got...
actually, on that subject, are you all going to go to metal detectors as a matter of course?
Well, and that's what we've got. Hold, David, hold. Okay, that's what I've got.
Go
Constable Herman coming on, and also Sam
Oh,
Harless.
you have some people
Yeah,
coming
already queued up about what happened at Klein ISD.
Oh, then he was
David,
right.
if you want,
that's the guy showed up with an AR? Is that
well,
right?
there's like three different incidents.
Three different
David,
instances in
David,
Klein.
I'll give you about the 30 seconds. State what you got, because, or you can hold till after they come on. But give us a preview of what you think's going on here.
I'd be happy to hold for it. As far as preview, I don't believe, again, it's almost 4 years since I've been retired, so I'm really not in the fray of every day. I know that metal detectors pose their own unique set of challenges for school systems.
Okay, and David, let's hold
I know
it there
that-
because we'll set it up. Basically, you've had 3 incidences, so there's a big push to go to metal detectors and
or secure entries
and are wanding. And let's just take a break and get to it. A lot of activity, not only just internationally, not only in D.C. where Uncle Paul was, not only with 2 county judges need to resign, but we had like a whole series of 3 events at Klein ISD, Ben, which is your school's district.
Yeah, I live in that school district.
Let's take a break.
I'm ashamed to say.
All right, let's get a break and get to it. You get other calls in here. We'll take them all. 281-558-5730, 281-558 KSEV or pound KSEV. It's free for those Verizon callers. 3 Amigos. We'll be back after this on the Voice of Texas.
Hi, everybody. This is Brian Kilmeade. Keep listening to The Voice of Texas.
This is Paul Betancourt. Property values may have peaked. Protest your property values now.
Sign up with Betancourt Tax Advisors by going online to btanow.com or by calling Paul's professional property team at 713-263-6100.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Garage Door Doctor. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. Our monthly service plan will keep your garage door running smoothly so you never have to deal with a broken garage door. There's never a good time for your garage door to break. Whether you're rushing to work or you're trying to get the kids to school, we know how much you rely on your garage door. That's why we offer same-day repairs, because life doesn't wait. And neither should you. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Our springs are the toughest in the industry, backed by our lifetime warranty. That's right, fix them once and you're covered for life. From repairs to upgrades, call Garage Door Doctor today. Over 90,000 5-star reviews don't happen by accident. They happen by putting people first. When your garage door stops working, trust Garage Door Doctor to get you moving again fast. Call Garage Door Doctor today.
Chris X here to tell you about Humble Amco Transmission and AC Specialists. People who know go to Amco. I personally trust Jay Streckfus and Humble Amco with all of my vehicle's needs. With complete car care, they'll take care of all of your auto needs as well. Always a free check engine light inspection, and tell them that Chris X sent you for a free engine scan. Call Jay today at 281-446-0862. That's 281-446-0862 or online at humbleamco.com.
Representative Brian Harrison notifying Texans that the so-called Republicans in the Texas House, they are giving a platform to the Democrat candidate for Senate, James Tallarico. What's the platform? Dishing out punishment to Democrats who abandoned Texas to avoid voting on the redistricting maps. Now, why would any real Republican want to help a Democrat position himself as a moderate? We'll talk about it coming up on the next Chris Salcedo Show. See you at 7 after the press box on the Voice of Texas.
We can't get the facts. They just tell us what they think we ought to know. To the max. Don't get it back. Someone tell me where the money really goes. Someone tell me.
And that's what we do every day on The Voice of Texas. We tell you the facts and where your money goes, especially when the three amigos rides into town. You've got the tax man, the soul man, and the judge. And we're going to go to a listener, should I say, and also contributor to the community, top-notch constable himself, Mark Herman. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Uncle Paul, I'm doing super good. I hope y'all are doing well.
We are.
We are. Okay, to make a long story short, because the phones have lit up like a Christmas tree, we got 3 incidences at Klein ISD where kids were bringing in weapons, and Ben says one of them was an automatic. And I know that you don't do the investigation. That's actually Klein ISD PD, but we've had enough activity where it's basically, stirred up the community. People don't like what they hear. And your outfit has been called in by Jenny McGowan, who's the Klein ISD superintendent, to help. And Jenny was going to be on, but she had a family member that had to have some surgery. So, Mark, why don't you take it from the top and tell us what you guys are doing starting Monday?
Sure. So 3 incidents within 1 week at Klein ISD, totally unrelated, but they occurred. Klein PD handled all 3 incidents, got charges filed. I have been in touch with Chief Runnels. I've had multiple phone calls with Superintendent Jenny McGowan. And I did read the letter they put out to the parents, very transparent. They probably put out more than what I would have, but we're going to be working with them. Good news is, the kids are on spring break this week. It gives us an opportunity to put an operational plan together for next week. We will be contributing to Chief Runnels' team with deputy constables and basically keeping our kids safe next week.
Now, you're bringing in quite a squad. Okay, Mark, you've got, I think, several dozen identified to come in and help. And basically what we're trying to, I assume what you're trying to do is look for patterns, make sure this is not somehow connected, even though these 3 incidences appear to be separate, and also make the community aware of the fact that there's additional police protection, because there's really a big debate about whether wanding is good enough, because you've got an outside group that have come in and basically demanding metal detectors.
Yeah, well, and everybody wants to play armchair quarterback. I mean, that's just the nature of the business. But I can tell you that basically there's a small group of people stirring stuff up unnecessarily. We will be more for visibility to get people calmed down for getting in the ruckus that they're in now. I mean, all 3 incidents were handled. They were handled very well by Klein PD. And I can assure you, next week, we will be ready for whatever should come our way. I think it'll be a quiet week. But, again, these were 3 separate incidents. One had nothing to do with the other. And, we're just looking forward to helping our partners at Klein PD.
All right. Well, that's Constable Mark Herman, who is always on the spot with help. And Eric, quick comment.
What schools, Constable? This is Eric Andel, and thanks for being with us. What schools have utilized metal detectors? Are there any in HISD, et cetera? I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just asking.
No, HISD, yes.
Yeah, HISD does, but again, Klein. I really don't want to comment on what infrastructure they have. I would defer that to the superintendent or Chief Runnels.
Okay, I'm just wondering what school districts and HIC is an answer.
Well,
okay.
we've got Sam Harless calling in right behind the constable. So, all right, Mark. So the word's out. So Precinct 4 showing up heavy duty to help out, and Klein ISD starting Monday, right?
Happy to do it, sir, and yes.
Good.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in and telling everybody, because I know we cover the entire Klein ISD, all 54,000 students and their families, with the radio signal from 700 AM. So thanks, Mark.
Well, great. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening.
Very good.
Yeah,
presence makes a difference. I mean, it does.
Presence is important. Now,
it's a deterrent.
Well, Representative Harless is in, so we'll get him up right away here. And importantly, what's kind of happened is this. While I was heading out to D.C., I saw a news report where there was a group that was basically taking petitions and demanding that they go to metal detectors. Now, the culture out at Klein IC has been wanding. Now, what's interesting is I did hear from the administration that the people signing the petition, a lot of them are out of town, like way out of town. And it looked like there was some, should I say, Ben, maybe some leftist progressive money in that operation. So let's get Representative Sam Harless to comment on, because his home is in Klein ISD. Hey, Sam, how are you?
Hey, good, Uncle Paul. How are you doing?
Good. Okay. Well, you heard my lead in. Mark Herman, Precinct 4's coming in with several dozen constables to help with presence next week. But there is kind of I think KPRC2 reported this third-party group coming in demanding metal detectors, and looked like they had some not all money from the outside, but simply some outside money was helping them. So what say you, Representative Sam Harless?
Well, I live in Klein ISD, and I think it's one of the best school districts in the state, bar none. And I like it so much, my granddaughter and my son and daughter-in-law are moving into Klein School District so their kids can go there. I have nothing but 100% confidence in Klein School District and their leadership.
And Sam, so what's been your observation that you have 3 incidents in a week? People are obviously concerned. Looks like there's at least an a group locally, but with external help coming in, basically saying, hey, there's a catastrophe underway and you got to go to metal detectors everywhere. So what do you think the community response is? And
well,
what
the
do you
community
think?
doesn't want metal detectors. There's no question about it. Some of them do, but overwhelming majority do not. I can tell you this, they have secured access on all their campuses, all their doors. I don't know if somebody left a door open or was holding a door open for someone to get in, but I have nothing but confidence in Klein School District. I'm amazed. Every time I go to visit one of the campuses, I have a hard time getting in.
I guarantee
Eric, I know. And
I went to speak at Bridgeland, and I think I'd never get out of there.
I mean, I went to go see Jenny myself, and I could barely get in.
I would think somebody with a gun is not going to be, go in the through the metal detector. I mean,
well, even if they did, they would go. They would sound off.
And probably are students, not adults.
Okay, Sam, go ahead.
Well, people who want to do bad are always going to find a way to get around it, whether they have somebody hold the door open that was secure or locked. But I can tell you, Klein School District is by far on top of everything that goes on. And with 54,000 students, and I think they've got 3,000 employees, you're going to have things that happen occasionally, but I have nothing but confidence in Klein and their leadership. They do a great job.
All right, Sam. So basically, Constable Herman's coming. You've got confidence in KISD. And the good news is the 3 incidents apparently didn't cause injury or worse.
Yeah, nobody wants kids at risk in any school campuses anywhere. And I applaud Constable Herman. He does such a wonderful job for us out here in North Harris County, his department. I think they have close to 650 deputies, and they're on top of everything. So I just think people are stirred up for nothing. We all want our kids safe, but I don't think any school district does as good a job keeping kids safe as they do in Klein.
All right, Sam. Well, you have a great weekend, and thanks for the call and the update. And we'll keep monitoring this. And folks, if you agree, disagree, 281-558-5738. We'll take a break and get.
Yeah, Paul, I got to tell you, I disagree. I think we ought to have metal detectors.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Wow, well, you should have disagreed while we had Sam on the phone.
You know, it's just my opinion. I think the state's already appropriated a lot of the money for some of this, for both security guards.
I only asked because I thought that was at one time one of the recommendations.
I think it's an unfortunate necessity. If it slows things down and gum things up, they got to. So what? The kids got to wake up earlier. So
well, and the key thing, everybody's got to come to an agreement of what keeps the kids safe. Okay, and that was one of the recommendations after Santa Fe.
Yeah,
and I know that Lieutenant Governor Patrick actually put some money into metal.
I thought
detectors.
he did, yeah.
But this is the first time this has happened up in Klein.
And I think the state, maybe the Rangers or whatever the body is, needs to monitor social media for potential threats.
Well, that's also part of what the Klein ISD should be doing as well with their own police force.
By the way, I got a great joke for you I want to play after the break.
All right, let's turn and burn.
Ben
we'll
with the
be
joke.
back after this. I know, Ben with the joke. Who would
This is Paul
think?
Betancourt. Property values may have peaked. Protest your property values now.
Sign up with Betancourt Tax Advisors by going online to btanow.com or by calling Paul's professional property team at 713-263-6100.
This report sponsored by Gallery Furniture. If Made in America is important to you, come to Gallery Furniture. Buy it today, get it today. Gallery Furniture saves you money.
From the KSEV Weather Center, tonight expect clear to partly cloudy skies with patchy late-night fog causing reduced visibility. The low will be 62. Tomorrow, there will be patchy fog in the morning leading to reduced visibility, but overall it'll be mostly sunny and very warm. The temperature is expected to reach a high of 88, breaking the record high of 87 set in 1907. Tomorrow night will be mostly clear with patchy late-night fog reducing visibility once again. The low will be 63. With the KSEV Weather Center forecast, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina.
Get ready for Easter Sunday dinner the right way. After church, around a beautiful new dining room table and chairs made in America from Gallery Furniture. The tremendous Easter sale is going on right now with hundreds of tables and chairs made in America, in stock, gorgeous solid wood furniture made by Amish craftsmen. And yes, we're saying it loud and proud. Easter is sacred. Easter is holy. Easter is about faith, family, and gratitude. Buy your table today. Gallery Furniture delivers just in time for Easter Sunday dinner.
KSEV and its advertisers want to thank you, the listeners, for all your continued support. Without you supporting our advertisers, there would not be a Voice of Texas. We stand behind our clients, and if you're looking to boost and grow your business, join the great team at KSEV and its loyal audience by calling a member of our sales staff at 281-588-4800. That's 281-588-4800. KSEV, loyal listeners and dependable advertisers are the Voice of Texas.
Trying to up my game, boys. Chester Benningham, the lead singer for Linkin Park. Never heard of him? But it's his birthday. You ever heard of Linkin Park?
I have.
You good?
I have, yeah. Well,
Go figure.
Not my favorite. But
Well,
yeah.
fair enough. Stephanie Miller. Never heard of her, but I've heard of this song. Never knew love like this before. Happy birthday, Stephanie Miller. But waiting for this, Ben. Happy birthday, Ronnie Dunn.
It's where I take my first beer.
Ben, this is very danceable for you and Kathy,
Happy
right?
birthday, Ronnie.
That's Brooks and Dunn, yeah.
It's
I
a
got
do-si-do.
three of them. My little medley for you. For your joke.
Oh, come on. Now,
my
this
joke.
is danceable.
Yeah, no.
Now, if you lose your one and only,
Those are all good Brooks and Dunn songs.
Actually, they're kind of hard to dance to, right, Gary?
You didn't like Brooks and Dunn?
No, I did. I do like Brooks and Dunn. They're kind of tweener songs.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to know which beat you're on.
And we honor, we remember, we think about. We lost Chuck Norris yesterday.
You know, what was interesting about that is obviously I think Chuck was the modern version of John Wayne. Okay,
I think so.
Yeah.
Delta Force.
Now and
met him at a couple of inaugurations along the way.
Right, and
big Republican there.
And well, I know when I did some charity work.
Friend
for
of
him.
the station, friend of charities.
I did.
You know,
I did
right.
some auctions for him for his Kick Out Cancer campaign here in Houston.
Now
so,
we heard of many rumors up there. We heard that that Chuck's brother had called it because apparently he made it to the hospital, and for some reason we heard this. TMZ busted into the hospital room, somehow getting past everybody and had to get tossed out. So I'm going to tell you, I don't care whether you're owned by Fox News or what, that is not something that should happen because unfortunately, whatever happened to Chuck, there was like a delayed problem and he passed away. So obviously it's cardiovascular or something quick, but that was something we were told yesterday in Washington that, I mean, of all things, TMZ, and people busting into the room to get an interview.
And if you like irony, we'll hear Ben's joke after this, which has nothing to do with
my
irony.
joke.
If you like irony, 2003 on this day, the Iraqi War began.
Huh.
If you like irony.
That is irony.
Like irony, that's all I'm saying.
That
all right,
maybe a little too much.
So did you hear the one about the President of the United States and the Japanese Prime Minister sitting in the Oval Office?
I saw them.
We saw it because Howard Lutnick came over right after they finished.
You mean the ha-ha joke about Pearl Harbor?
Let's play number, what is that? Number 1, yeah.
Why didn't you tell your
Japanese
allies,
reporter
in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay, why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay. Right?
So everybody's
froze.
laughing.
You believe in surprise.
I heard the entire Japanese delegation froze like an ice cube.
Right. Japanese PM is just sitting there going, rolling her eyes.
The first 2 days, we probably knocked out 50%.
All right, Gary, it's fine.
Yes, but only the Trumpster would pivot.
Only the Trumpster
would say, "Oh, by the way,
I thought it was incredibly funny." I mean,
didn't give us. You're talking about surprise. You all didn't give us any warning at Pearl Harbor. And you know what I was thinking about? Animal House. You know where Bluto goes on that tirade and he goes, "Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?" And they all look at each other and say, "Forget it. He's on a roll. Don't worry about it."
That's what he said. That's what the guy said. He's on a roll.
Oh man, that would crack me up. And I feel, she's great, by the way. Her name is Sakai Takaichi, and she's very pro-American.
And she can roll with the punches.
Calls China on the carpet, and they're having all sorts of beefs with them. But she is very pro-Trump and very pro-American, and wants to strengthen the alliance. And I felt a little bit sorry for her. She just looks up and rolls her eyes.
Like she was like, this was not the droid she was looking for.
No, it wasn't. But
all right, let's get to the phones.
Everybody got his point.
No, obviously it was inescapable. Excuse me, as usual. All right, David, you're backing up on the Voice of Texas. So you heard everybody. David, former Klein ISD chief. What say you? Metal detectors or not?
I'm going to say no. The community overwhelmingly responded they did not. And if you actually look at the final draft of what was presented, or what I believe was the final, for the metal detectors were taken off of that list simply for the fact I think that initially it was I hate to call it, but a knee-jerk reaction to the three situations.
Well, it's Santa Fe, I think, was the final one that did it. I could have sworn that there was a metal detector draft.
There was money in there for metal.
Yeah, there was.
And extra security.
Wasn't
there?
No, at Santa Fe they did not. They brought them in the day we put the kids back. I was down there with a team of 50.
No, but wasn't there state money allocated for this, though? In the bill, there was state money allocated for metal detectors and extra police?
There was state money allocated for safety and security, all types of hardening like perimeter fencing, vestibules.
Right, this is the safety bill that I think it was Robert Nichols, and I've got a vague memory of somehow Lieutenant Governor Patrick be involved in coming up with some money for metal detectors.
And what's the big objection? Please tell me.
Yeah, what is the downside?
Quite frankly, I think it's just going to be, and I hate to put it this way, but more or less the inconvenience or guys, the school districts are there to educate. I recognize that we have to make sure they're safe. That is job one. But education is equal. And if we lose 2 or 3 hours every day trying to bring these students in, and I think Sam said it best, people with bad intentions are going to find a way around. One thing that I really want to congratulate or applaud the staff at Zlink, because I heard it a minute ago, there is a hardened vestibule there. There is the individual made entry into the office. The front office staff did exactly what they were supposed to do. He could not get into the portion of the building without being buzzed
And David,
through.
by the way,
So
I couldn't.
David, look, I visited Jenny out there. Eric's visited. There's no way to get past that.
I had to show my ID. I had to say why I was there. Had to wait for an escort.
No,
oh my God.
No, and David and Klein's done a really good job of hardening those primary entry points. That much is obvious. Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm very proud of that work continuing on. That was something I started back on my tenure, clear back after Sandy Hook, when Constable Herbin and I put together this huge cadre of officers. We provided a lot more high visibility patrol and coverage and stuff, and of course worked with Representative Harless.
No, I agree, and Sam's retiring, and that's a great loss. He's a great friend and a great member of the state House, the state representatives. Hey, David, we'll have you and Mark back on after we see what the Presence does out there. You guys can call back in.
Yeah,
I'd
love to know.
Love to see what happens.
The mood of the community.
But thanks for calling.
Absolutely, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Have a good weekend. All right, let's get Tom up next. Hey, Tom, you're on the Voice of Texas. Come on, Tom.
Yeah, I just wanted to state my counterpoint to that caller several calls back about China. Like, that's something that aggravates me.
China.
Yeah. In my view, the goal of the Communist Party of China is exactly the same as that of the Third Reich and Hitler and of the Imperial Japanese in World War II. That is to conquer the United States and take everything from us that is ours. Now, they're more dangerous than the Germans or the Japanese because they're cunning and patient, and they've been making war on us since 1980.
Tom, they play an incredibly long game, and again, and they consistently do it. They cleaned up on the fact that they didn't have to pay any of the patent holders on intellectual property rights. I know because I'm one. Okay, I own a third of a patent that got absorbed over there, and it started out being, well, let's help them out, let's help Deng Xiaoping, let's do this, and then it became, unfortunately, in the Bush administration, they turned a blind eye to it, and boom, that was it. So we really lost a lot of our own intellectual property rights because we wouldn't stand up for them, and that's come back to haunt us. So your thoughts on that are correct.
Well, if I may make one more point, then I'll get off the phone. But if we had pumped hundreds of trillions of dollars into Germany and Japan in the 1930s, as we have into China, we would have lost World War II. Now that's something to chew on.
Well, that's one way.
We've been fools to finance their war machine, and we're still doing it.
Actually, we actually did loan them a lot of money, unfortunately, but not enough for them to beat us.
But anyway, Tom, we're
not loaning it to them. We're spending it at Walmart and everywhere else. Every time we buy something in China, we're building them another aircraft carrier.
We actually loaned them money, right?
We loaned the Germans a lot of money before the war.
It's called right before the war.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we did the Marshall Plan to bring them back on our side.
And they didn't pay us back for our loans.
But anyway, Tom, good observation, good call. Got a full board, so we got to keep moving. Have a good weekend.
All right. I'm gone.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, let's.
Wouldn't it be something if he's going out to eat Chinese food tonight? I'm just like
all right.
I just like irony.
Why you think
today.
that's
Just irony.
why do you think that's ironic or hypocritical? Just because you like Chinese food doesn't mean you want them to conquer the world.
I don't know. I don't know who owns the restaurant.
It's a good joke. All right,
it's a good joke.
No,
that's
Pearl Harbor was a good joke.
No, Pearl Harbor.
But that was the difference is you said you had a joke.
I said I had a joke. I didn't say it was mine.
Oh.
Nor did we say it was good.
Nor did we expect it to be yours, but I
thought it was funny.
No, because it wasn't
unfunny.
yours. It was the president's. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go. David from Humble. You're up next on The Voice of Texas. Come on, David.
Hello, amigos.
Hola.
Hello. I love you guys to infinity.
Okay, to infinity and beyond.
Oh my gosh! Isn't there
The
like
infinity
a Star
and
Wars
beyond.
thing?
No, that's Toy Story.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, David, what you got?
I have a beef. Yeah, I have a beef with Christine Ohm, the Secretary of Homeland Security.
She's the ex-Secretary of Homeland Security.
Yeah, the former.
A lot of people had a beef with her, obviously.
Yeah. But did she resign or did she quit?
She got fired.
She got fired. And then they gave her.
Trump did fire her.
Yes,
they gave her a consolation. They gave her a consolation.
About 2 weeks.
Oh, she's
ago.
gone.
Yeah,
she's gone. Yeah,
right,
2 weeks ago.
And Mullins went through.
Well, Trump fired her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No question.
She's long gone.
But I think Trump did it under pressure.
Well,
he did it under pressure. Guys, I love Trump. You know, I voted for Trump twice.
Okay, and
I think he.
David, let me just say this:
we were under pressure.
We were
had
there.
to go.
We were there with observation. First off, the Minnesota thing was a disaster.
I'm the conservative here,
right?
And Paul, of course, but sometimes Paul can't, necessarily say what I say. So I'll say this:
I never say what you say.
That's correct. You never do.
You guys,
there's a 48-hour rule. It's called the 48-hour rule in politics. It's basic politics. You don't open your mouth for 48 hours after a public event, like somebody getting shot in the middle of the street.
David, what was
until you find out the facts?
Right, and then David, what the final straw was when Senator Kennedy from Louisiana just blew her away because she spent nearly $250 million on her own
promotion.
Advertisement, and that was it. It was
wow.
Well,
Right.
Trump won't have that. He's too. He's not
no.
going to have anyone going on TV more than he gets.
Well,
on.
no, but
and it was the wrong commercials to run.
It was a wrong commercial.
They need to run wanted posters of illegal immigrants committing crimes and apprehended.
Amazing.
All right, David.
Television.
I know.
Advertisement.
You got it. That's what finally
paid political ads.
Well, it wasn't even a paid political ad. It was taxpayer dollars. That's what was really sad. All right, David. Good call. You call back anytime. All right.
She's good looking.
Oh, yes.
Well, I'm a little shallow on this.
By the way,
we
Eric,
included that in her bona fides.
I'm going to offer an editorial comment on that. I rarely do. But I happened to see pictures of her 10 years ago.
Oh.
And I think and my wife agreed.
Plastic surgery?
We looked at it and said she was better looking before all that plastic surgery, in our opinion. And, why people do that to themselves, because the outcome is not always positive. But, hey, that's what keeping up with the Joneses is like in the 21st.
If she's listening, I don't mind it. I just want her to know I'm okay with it.
You're okay.
If she's listening.
For your birthday.
Good to know.
All right, let's turn and burn. We'll be right back with, let's see, we got John, we got Sammy in the bonus round next on The Voice of Texas.
The Joe Pags Show, tonight at 6 on KSEV and KGBC. Still the Voice of Texas.
When it's time to replace a roof, some people put it off until an emergency arises. This is Deb Tejada from Tejas Roofing, your Houston roofing company. I understand. People tell me it's way too complicated and too expensive.
Our customers tell us they wish they would have done it sooner.
I hear it all the time. Once the roof is replaced, they wonder why they waited so long because it's really not that complicated. We show up on time, we quote you a fair price. We replace most roofs in just one day. At Tejas Roofing, we take pride in making the process easy.
The cleanup is phenomenal. People always comment that it looks like we were never there. And now those customers sleep better at night knowing your new roof has been installed correctly.
When you know you need a new roof, don't put it off. Call me now, Deb Tejada at Tejas Roofing, 281-251-0304. Estimates are free, 281-251-0304. When you need roofing repairs, a new roof or remodeling, call us at Tejas Roofing, 281-251-0304.
This is Paul Betancourt. Property values may have peaked. Protest your property values now.
Sign up with Betancourt Tax Advisors by going online to btanow.com or by calling Paul's professional property team at 713-263-6100.
Hi, this is Michael Miller. Join me this weekend for the Backyard Bay radio program presented by Miller Pools and Texan Pools, now at our new time every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. And what we do here on the Backyard Bay radio program is talk about your backyard. And this time of year, wow, it's so hard not to just spend all your time out in the Backyard Bay. And I know sometimes you have questions. That's why we do the Backyard Bay radio program, to get you good, solid answers to any kind of questions that you may have concerning your swimming pools, or I'm looking to build a new swimming pool. Join me this weekend for the Backyard Bay radio program, now at our new time, every Saturday morning at 9 a.m., right here on The Voice.
And welcome back to the Voice of Texas. Thanks for joining us on a Friday drive home afternoon with the three amigos. Then the soul man, the Strew with the view, Strew stand on the right. You got the tax man, Paul Betancourt at the helm. And the liberal lefty judge, Eric Yandel. And very shout out to all our listeners that are tuning in on YouTube right now, making comments for me to read and answer. And
Did they laugh at your joke?
Well, there was a comment here from Acapella who said that we should allow the judge to use a George McGovern hand puppet during the show.
Well, he loved George McGovern.
Perhaps he would feel less outnumbered.
Oh, very good.
I like that one.
That's not bad.
That's pretty good, huh?
We'll give a ringing bell for that comment.
I voted for George McGovern.
I bet you did.
Well, of course I did.
Of course you did.
Who was his opponent, though? Nixon?
Richard
Oh,
Nixon.
forgot. Well,
Milhouse
I'm
Nixon.
sure you're proud. Well, good, boys. I'm sure you're proud
and
of that.
by the way, you know that after that election, he quit, obviously, went back to the Dakotas and tried to start a bed and breakfast, but he was appalled at all the regulation that existed because it priced him out of his business.
Yeah, and his disciples have taken over the state.
So I'm gonna get hit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get hammered over McGovern when you elected Nixon. Good. Okay, I'll take the
I'm
trust.
fine with my vote.
You're fine with Nixon.
Yeah, I'm fine with my
And the Vietnam War
turned out a lot better.
Okay.
No, he ended the Vietnam War.
Yeah, he
and then he went way out over the skis, lied to the American public, did a cover up, and boom, he lost his presidency.
Yeah.
It was El Stupito.
Ho Chi Minh.
Watergate, El Stupito, Vietnam, not necessarily.
All right, let's go, John.
You got it over with.
John, you're up next on the Voice of Texas. Come on, John.
Yes, I'm opposed to any hardening of the schools for two reasons. Number one, it does not address the real causes of these events. And number two, from a taxpayer's standpoint, it doesn't matter. The ISDs, they just want more and more and more. Cyfair ISD. Right now, they're looking at scamming the taxpayers with another $1 billion school bond.
Wait a minute. I heard
they can.
Yeah, John, I heard they delayed that they didn't put it up for May.
Well, no, it's still out there. They just delay it for a couple of months.
They'll wait till we have a Republican convention, then they'll hold them.
Right, because the last time they did that, they lost. John, listen, we're out of time, but that's a good thing. We'll talk about that $1 billion bond issue sometime in the next future.
We'll lead the opposition to that. We'll get that defeated, John.
All right, good call. We'll get you back. All right, let's have Slam and Sammy to take us home. Come on, Sammy.
Well, lastly, let me tell y'all this here. Please be advised, I am a Ken Pastor supporter. And as President Trump do endorse Ken Pastor, I am not voting Republican for him.
You mean
I
Cornyn?
hate to say it, but that's what it is. Secondly, the show that came after Chris Cicero, and they had this guy, Carl Rowe come over there. He just roasted Ken Pastor.
Of course, he's a Bush guy. He's just a Bushy guy.
I know, but that's just the theme of talk radio. You've got people that are for somebody, and then people are against them.
Need time to rebuttal all that. Hey, Amigos,
Sammy.
Hey, we have Paxton on all the time.
Yeah, I've talked to Ken. He's going to be coming on soon. I just don't know what week, Friday, but I did talk to him. Ben, you got good golf in the morning?
We do.
All right, Eric.
Back to Little League. It's a parade tomorrow. Neartown
and
parade.
It's beautiful enough on this first spring weekend. I may take Mrs.
You
B
going
down,
south?
Going down to Galveston.
There you go.
All right. Until then, good night. God bless. And have fun because Craig is next, right?
Ooh, MAGA Craig.
MAGA Craig.